And one of the things that tends to repeat itself over time is that there's a young generation who treats themselves as if they are indestructible. And they do all sorts of crazy things that the veterans in locker rooms and guys who are out of the business but still watching will say, don't do that. You're going to hurt yourself. Don't do that. You're going to end up retiring early. Don't do that. You're going to end up in a wheelchair. And the young guys thumb their nose at it. And 10, 15, 20 years later, those same young guys are now the veterans who are telling the young guys of that day, don't do this. You're going to hurt yourself. And the cycle just continues on. And it looks like we've had some of that in the past couple of weeks.
What can I say? No, you're absolutely right. Doctors, after reading, what Regal had written, and then, seeing some of the answers to that and everything. Dr. Tom and I talked about it, and he said, they don't listen to them. Well, Harley, I can't tell you how many times Harley Race said to me the last few years that we were doing camps together, I wish, if I could turn the clock back, I would have never done that diving headbutt because it screwed my neck up, so Benoit paid no attention to that, and he went right ahead and did the same thing. And then Brian Danielson went ahead and decided he wanted to be the next guy with a bad neck, and he did. And it's just, it's for some reason the young guys are thinking, well, you old guys don't like us, or you're mad because we're cooler looking than you are, or taller, or do crazier things, but you're really just jealous. No, we're not. And Arn Anderson also brought up the fact, he said, look at me. He said, I've got, I'm stoved up, and I didn't do half the stuff that these guys have done. And I'm going to say the same thing. I wasn't a crazy bump guy. I took bumps that I thought were necessary when they were necessary. Saying, I told somebody here not long ago about blood. I said, when I saw a reason to get juice, yeah, okay, I'll do it. But if just to be doing it, I didn't see any value in that. Excuse me. And so two guys that I respect, Regal and Arn Anderson, both, within a few days of each other, came out with these comments. And it seems like the tribalism rose its ugly head and started dancing around the fire and waving their axes and bow and arrows and whatever, and thought, boy, these two guys are just wusses, right? Or I don't know actually what they thought, but they would be so far from the truth with both these guys, to go out and injure yourself in the line of doing your job to earn your living, to pay for your food and home and your family and et cetera, doesn't mean that you have to risk your life if you know a better way. And, I've had this conversation with young guys too. Realize when I broke into business, I had this conversation the other day with Brian that does Developmentally Speaking. We did several segments of that show over the holidays. And so anyway, the crazy thing is that it's like I forget, was it Arn or Steve Regal said, do you really have to go to this lengths to get a pop from the people? And here's part of the whole cycle of this thing. I'm going on 67, July 4th, if I live that long, of 2026 will be my 67th anniversary of my first professional wrestling match in 1960. And you know what? It doesn't matter what, if you're this generation or two generations before, or if you're going to be a generation after. The point is, when you fall, you have to land. And when you land with force. And that jars internally your insides, it jars your outside, and it puts it makes you wonder why you're doing it sometimes. But the point is, he's right. Half the stuff we see today, we would have never tried years ago.